Okay, microphone test 1, 2. Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Madformers Pro here, and as you can see, I'm in the unfurbished office for Class R HQ, coming soon by the way. Today, we're going to be doing a Q&A for the Alicion channel. And again, I do apologize that the Q&A came out later than expected. I kind of got a little bit busy with other stuff, but without further ado, let's get right into it. Oh, and I should also mention I'm recording this on a PlayStation iToy. I don't have a quality microphone, and honestly, this is the other thing I have, so yeah, without wasting any time, let's get into the first few questions. When it's done. No, it's been like 2 years since Chapter 2, but I do plan on getting it out this year, so please stay tuned, keep an eye on the channel, and I'll try and keep you guys updated with it. There's only like one character that kind of plays somewhat of an antagonistic role, and that would be the director. Like, he isn't the main antagonist, and he's not really meant to be an antagonist, but in terms of his role in the story and how he kind of acts, he is somewhat of an antagonist. In terms of actual human antagonists, I'll let the series speak for itself. I've always been like a big fan of 80s, 90s, and even early 2000s mecha. Plus, I've also included quite a few references and Easter eggs, other mecha series that I love. Some of it might be obvious, some of it might not be obvious, but through and through, Alicion is just my love letter to mecha. If you could pilot any mechs, which one would it be and why? I'm either gonna go with like the Alicion, which is one of the most powerful mechs in the series, but I also want to pilot the Uzu Rex, because the Uzu Rex, also known as a tank henshin, it can transform into tank legs, and because of that, it's kind of like a Transformers. Ideally, I would pilot an Alicion with the legs of Uzu Rex, so the best of both worlds, I'd say. How long have you been making Roblox films? Technically for like 13 years, if you consider like the work I did for Raven Akira's first film, Day of Destruction, and the Vortex Security series moving forward, but I properly got into Roblox filming in 2018 when I first started working on Alicion, and I only really got around to filming it like in 2019. Officially 6 years, but I guess unofficially 13 years. I describe Alcyon's world going through its Cold War era, like kind of roughly around the time of the 1980s. The world is kind of split into two, but since the Nephilim have like returned, they kind of have no choice but work together to defeat this common enemy. They don't 100% trust each other, and you know, once that threat is gone, they'll just go back trying to kill each other. But overall, I'd say Cold War-esque setting. And in terms of like valuable resources, I'd say the Alcyons, or technology to make Alcyons themselves, because roughly it's hard to make one. It has a lot of resources and specialities that are required to actually make an Alcion. Plus, without going too much into spoiler territory, Alcyons are very fucking powerful and are very fucking deadly. So yeah, there's that. I'd say I've always loved like mecha and giant robots, but I'd probably maybe say around 2000 and 2001 when I first discovered Transformers, so a very bloody long time, but I think I truly got into mecha when I started getting into anime when I was in like my late teens, and I like kind of an interest in seeing like mecha anime, but I didn't get around to seeing like proper mecha anime until I was like in my first year of college with, I guess, Evangelion and yeah, Mobile Suit Gundam, Macross, and Patlabor. Also there was Pacific Rim, which was bloody brilliant movie. How did you come up with Alicion? One day I asked myself, why isn't there a Roblox mech film? I came to this realization that, you know, if no one else is going to do it, I might as well do it. And originally, Alicion was going to be a reboot of an older Roblox series called Revenger, and Revenger was Batman mixed with Iron Man, but with like the Revenger reboot I was considering making at the time, the suit was going to like change size just so we can like fight giant monsters and whatnot. Sort of an Ultraman type of thing, but more mecha orientated, but since Class R didn't have the rights to use the character or the permission to use the Revenger character, I kind of decided I should just like scrap that idea, keep the design, and write a totally like new story his mech and name it Alicion. I'd say kind of neither. My main goal is to like sort of make the Alicion chapters going forward be around 20-minute mark, just so it can be a bit more consumable and, you know, a bit more consistent. When it comes to like writing the stories, I'd rather not jeopardize the pacing of that episode. I don't really see the point adding filler or taking away some scenes if it will ruin the pacing personally. I guess kind of. I did used to watch Power Rangers when I was a kid, and I've also seen like Japanese Spider-Man, which was, I guess, both fun and hilarious. And I've also seen the film and loved the film Gaiva 2 Dark Hero, which is like an adaptation of a Japanese manga called Bio Booster Armor Gaiva. That film is Power Rangers with blood and gore. Oh, and also the main protagonist is played by David Hayter, which we might all know is the same guy who voices Solid Snake. And this film came out before he even played Solid Snake, which is bloody insane. So if you have a chance to see Gaiva 2 Dark Hero, I'd say give it a fucking watch. It is a good fucking movie.
Who is your favorite character?
I'd say I have like 3 favorite characters. Firstly, let's get Alice out the way. You know, she's a very sort of shy and lost type of character who is living up to her father's legacy, prove herself, but is under like a lot of pressure. She has like a heart of gold, and despite how cold she may come across, she is genuinely decent person who is like kind of lost. As much as I could say about spoiling, Brandolo, he has a really good character arc. You know, he kind of starts off as a bit up his own arse and a bit silly, I'd say, but he does change as the series progresses. The director, I'd say, he's a man with like a lot of unresolved issues. That one big event, he's a damaged and broken man that is dealing with the loss of his best friend. Can't like let that go. He's a man who kind of closes himself off. You know, he has so many layers upon layers, and in a way kind of has some things in common with Alice. They're both dealing with this grief in different ways, and they've shaped them differently considering the difference between their age and how well they've known her father.
Are you using the Moon Animator or with a mix of Blender?
I am using Moon Animator mainly because that's what I know and that's how I started the series with. I only really use Blender just so I can design the Nephilim and all the different types that do appear in the series. In terms of animation, it's mainly all Moon Animator.
Why did you name the enemies Nephilim?
I don't want to spoil or give too much away about who or what the Nephilim are. All I will say is that the name Nephilim is associated with giants. Keep that in mind. That is all I'm gonna say.
What made you want to start work on a web series?
Originally, I planned for Alicion to be a movie, just like this one film, and in terms of like the length of the story I've written and how detailed it is, I also thought it would be better off to tell the story as a series instead of like 3 movies, because in terms of pacing and the structure of the story, a series would like honestly would work better than a bunch of films if you ask me.
Have you watched any of the Godzilla movies?
I've only seen 3 in my life so far, that being the original, which was bloody brilliant, well-made, terrifying, thought-provoking movie. Then there was the 90s one made in America. Pardon me, the design, that Godzilla looked like shit in that movie. The CGI has aged horribly, and overall it's not that great. And I've also seen like, what was it, 2014's Godzilla? I'll be real with you, it just wasn't my cup of tea, let's say.
Do you plan on making more videos?
I've been very busy last year, so I didn't get a lot of time to work on Alicion stuff, aside from like the few clips and scenes that I've shown on the channel before, mainly because of like work and IRL shit. But yeah, I plan to do a lot more Alicion lore videos this year. I'm gonna try and make them at least like bi-monthly. Yeah, the next one I am working on is for the Manipularis, and it'll be narrated by Jack Calloway, who is going to be voiced by none other than Raven Akira. keep your eyes open for that one when that comes out. I'll try to get it out this month, but no guarantees. If it ain't gonna come out this month, it may come out in February, but, you know, we'll see.
The best film 有名度 in recent years.
Chapter 2. In terms of the animation, the storytelling, aside from like one or two scenes, and the world building, I'd say Chapter 2 of Alicion is like probably the best one I've made.
Motivational コツ or memories that keeps you going.
Yes, this one's from none other than Raven Akira.
I've already answered most of this question, but do you have any advice for like newer directors or or inspiring directors like out there within the community?
I do actually. Don't be afraid of what you come up with. Even if it's an idea, you tell yourself, start stupid. It sounds stupid rather, sorry. Just start with it and go from there, you know. It may be embarrassing to look back upon, but at the same time, it's just like, it's worth seeing the progress you made. So go out there, make your idea a thing. Even if it doesn't end up being good, it's like, hey, live in the satisfaction you've got it out there, because you don't get another chance.
Yeah, because like Eminem said, you gotta get it.
This was something he said during a interview I did with him. Honestly, it was just a fun, like, little interview, and, you know, it's fucking beautiful. It's very encouraging, because we do get a lot of, let's say, go out the way to kind of shit on you and what you make, even if it's your, like, first work, but don't be afraid, just go out there and make it. Of course, Raven Akira is just a very, very lovely man, like, and you should subscribe to Class R, like, right now.
Chapters come out quicker.
Honestly, I'd love that to happen, but the goal with Alicion, try and at least get like one chapter out per year, but if I were to like sort of stretch that goal, maybe at least 2 chapters out per year, but at best, with the way my work process goes, 1 chapter per year would be ideal. 2 chapters per year would be, you know, the dream. As stated a few times before, you know, there's a lot of other stuff that goes on in my life, like work, and that kind of like prevents me from working on Alicion full time. Keep in mind, I am like the only person animating it as of right now. I do plan on hiring a few more animators to help Alicion out quicker, but if you like know anyone or you're willing to like offer help on animating a few scenes for Alicion, feel free to like message me or even like join the Class R Discord server to show your work and I guess help out and support. But honestly, I don't want to overwork myself, I don't want to overwork other people, and I prefer quality over quantity, so best I can say is try and be patient with this because I just do this for fun. When doing stuff for the Manipularis, I kind of took influence from Dio's Holy Diver. It's such a good fucking album, and the music in that is like fucking awesome. And I guess mostly heavy metal stuff, like tone and the pacing of like how some of the fights like pan out. Even like some Metallica or Rammstein like kind of influenced the workflow when animating or just coming up with like fight scenes. Even like the Rocky films have like also played a bit of influence in down-to-earth moments, whereas like the more human side of, you know, this underdog trying to get his way to the top definitely played influence in like Alcyon's writing. In terms of, I guess, Alice's story arc.
Favorite movie?
That's going to be a difficult question, so I'm just going to list off like a bunch of movies. The first Rambo movie, first Rocky movie, The Dark Knight, End of Evangelion, the Blade Runner movies, especially the second one, but the first movie is a fucking vibe. Spider-Man 2, bloody brilliant, like peak superhero cinema, alongside like Logan. Everything Everywhere All at Once, like just a very clever, fun, well-written movie. Cowboy Bebop the movie, fucking good anime film. Hot Fuzz, hilarious. Shaun of the Dead, also a good movie. Borat, fucking funny. Dune, Part 1. Inception, fucking love my Nolan films, alongside Interstellar. Jinro, like a very sort of sad but beautifully made anime film. The Batman, Terminator 1 and 2, like good movies. Pacific Rim, like best Western-made mecha film ever. Shame it never got a sequel. I might be like forgetting a few others, but this is just like the ones I can think of off the top of my head.
Hardest scene to animate.
That would either be the Nephilim attack scene from Chapter 2, or the scene where Brandalo has to fight the Manipularis Nephilim in Chapter 3. Most fight scenes are quite difficult to animate personally. You know, kind of requires a lot of planning and, I guess, storyboarding, and even just trying to translate what you kind of have in mind onto paper for you to understand how it's going to, like, work out in a 3D space. I guess it's kind of a challenging process, but also, like, quite a fun process at the same time.
How will you expand the Alicion series?
I do have an idea of, say, a prequel for Alicion, which explores the first time humanity and the Nephilim ever fought, or like the first contact period of that story. Do it in a more experimental style. I don't want to give away too much on it, but you'll see something this year. It's going to be different to what you see with the chapters and the lore videos, but I think you guys might like this direction with what I'm doing with the prequels, so you'll just have to wait and see.
Any pre-Alicion project you had in mind?
So I'd say back when I was like still in high school, I wanted to make a Transformers movie in Roblox, but as you can imagine with Moon Animator being non-existent at the time, it was quite impossible, so I quietly dropped the project. And I also thought about doing a sequel series to Raven Acura's Vortex Security series, like the original one, not the declassified one. The old series ended with Vortex Security Endgame. And, spoiler alert, at the end of Endgame, Rick Talbosky dies, the character Jim Logan ends up becoming the new protagonist. I thought of making a series called Vortex Security New Game, which follows up on what happens after Endgame, and just kind of goes on his own adventure, basically.
Favorite games?
Alright, I ran out of ideas, lol. I have a few favorite games, so I'm just gonna list them off, like, in no particular order. Deus Ex, the Metal Gear series, the Armored Core series, the Mortal Kombat series, Doom 1, 2, 64, and 2016, Half-Life 1, Halo 3, Halo Reach, and Halo 3 ODST, Call of Duty Black Ops, The Sims, Saints Row 2, Left 4 Dead, Team Fortress 2, Titanfall 2, Ultra Kill, Star Wars Battlefront 2, and Lethal Company, as of right now.
Favorite Roblox series?
Raven Acura's Vortex Security Declassified series. Like, I cannot express how bloody brilliant the Classified series is, the most underrated Roblox series of all time. If you're like interested into like military drama or thrillers and whatnot, the Vortex Security series is the shit. You know, it's like similar to Metal Gear, Sicario, a bit of Blade Runner in as well. You know, with like the narrative and the characters and the world, the stuff he's planning for like the later films. He has a lot of good shit written for it, and I'm super excited to see where it's all gonna go. Go subscribe to ClassR right now and watch Vortex Security, and I repeat, do not skip Saxton. If you look down in the description or maybe an annotation somewhere, it'll take you to a link to actually see, as intended, from Saxton to the most recent episode of Black Sparrow, but I've linked up here or in the description.
Is there any exciting news in the future?
Quite a bit. There's that, like, Alcion prequel project that I spoke of. Me and Raven Acura plan on doing a lot more with, like, the ClassR studio place. Whenever we do updates to it, keep an eye out for that either in the server or on our, like, official YouTube channels and whatnot. I am also considering doing, like, a few shorts set in the Vortex Security universe that, you know, kind of expand and follow the world of Vortex Security with other directors, too. And I even plan on like going back to streaming as well, because honestly, streaming was actually kind of fun, and if I could do either like a building stream or an animating stream, or, you know, maybe a mech themed gaming stream with a few other people, I think that would be fun. I'm considering re-releasing Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, but with voice actors. It's a little bit far-fetched, but I am gonna be or have someone reanimate the first fight from it, just so the animation quality will be on par with what you see in Chapter 2. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. A special thanks to all 125 of you for subscribing and keeping an eye on the Alcion channel. Like I said in the last few videos, I wouldn't be making this content without you, and your support and encouragement like really motivate me into actually working on the series, and I deeply appreciate all you guys being here. Special thanks to Rinken for like editing this video. And wait, I just noticed there's one question I forgot to answer, and for some reason it's on the announcement post for the Q&A. It reads, "Me first, how do you feel if Alice has daughter named Rushia and wants her to pilot the Eradicator from DTX? What will you do?"
I can't answer that. I don't know. I won't answer that. I don't know the answer to this one. You ever shit in a urinal, son?